I've made money in raging bull markets, and I've been able to make money in violent sell-offs while most traders are getting liquidated. The market doesn't scare me because I'm not waiting for one specific condition to trade. I'm able to adapt whatever condition is in front of me. Most traders can't do that, not because they're not smart enough, because they only learned one way to trade. You buy the breakout and you hold, and when the market isn't cooperating with that one mode, they're stuck. This video is where we start building on the alternative. I'm gonna break down the 3 modes that I trade and how I know which mode the market is calling for at any given time. And then I'm gonna walk through 2 of my favorite reversal setups so you're able to stay in front of those reversals. And by the end of this video, you're gonna be able to understand why being able to adapt is not a personality trait, a skill set that you could build yourself. This is part 2 of a 4-part series. If you missed part 1, I'd suggest you go back and watch it. Here's the honest truth about most retail trading educators. They're built around bull markets, and I get it. You don't need much skill to trade in a bull market. I'm gonna be completely honest. There's a saying that everyone's a genius in a bull market because you could literally just buy a stock, and as long as you're not in panic condition, you could go up. But then, when the volatility comes and the market starts selling off, the structure breaks, and suddenly every strategy that was working stops working. And most traders do one of 2 things. They either keep buying the dip that never bounces, or they completely sit out and sit on the sidelines and wait for everything to go back to normal. That's completely fine, right? Cash is always a position, but a real trader should be able to capitalize in both sides of the market. The traders who stay consistent across both market conditions aren't guessing the market's direction. They're reading the current condition and choosing the appropriate mode to trade in. That adaptability starts with understanding that there are different modes, and each mode has different entry criteria, different sizing rules, and a different relationship with time. Let's walk through the 3 modes that I use and exactly when I use each one and when each one applies. Mode 1, day trading and scalping. This is the intraday mode. Short time horizon, precise entries in and out within minutes or within that same session. And the 2 levels that I care about the most in this are the pre-market high, which is this top of the purple line, and the pre-market low over here, which is the bottom of the purple line. And then from there, we wait for the 15-minute orb, which is the opening range break. So the first 15 minutes, that high, and then the low of that first 15 minutes. These are the main levels I care about when looking at an intraday trade. The pre-market establishes where big money was positioning before the open. That pre-market high and that pre-market low tells me where buyers and sellers were active before the retail crowd showed up. And those buyers and sellers don't disappear when the session opens. They become the key decision zones of the day. So for me, it's simple. Until the price breaks this pre-market high and the 15-minute orb, this area becomes my no trade zone. What we're waiting for is simply for price to break in one direction or another. And this could work both sides, to the upside for calls and for the downside for shorts. So once price breaks through the 15-minute orb and the pre-market high right here, we're just waiting for a retest. And once we get that retest and we break out, that's my go signal to go long. Because the last thing we want to do is enter while it's in this no trade zone and we just get chopped out, right? So what we're looking for is clear direction to the upside or to the downside. Mode 2, momentum swing trading. This is the one that everyone teaches, that most traders know. It's pretty simple and it pays well when the market allows it to. This mode is activated when the market structure is clean, the trend is up, and the EMA stack is aligned. The trigger here is just a low volume pullback into EMA support. We don't just buy blindly on EMA support. What we're looking for is for volume to come back in and present a breakout move. This is the mode that most trading educators and Discords specialize in, right? Because it's easy. You're just waiting for pullbacks, you wait for volume to come back in, and you go long. And with this, all you need to look for is a break of a trend line. So once we get a break of a trend line and volume starts picking up, that's our signal to go long for the swing trade. And at that point, you could really just ride this out. This isn't a day trade. This is a position that I'm holding for days or weeks at a time, so we could capture this whole move. So let's say we enter here on May 20th on the day of the breakout. From here, you're able to ride this whole move up, in this stock specifically, which went up 89% over the course of 8 trading days. Really what you want to wait for is any kind of break or breach of the EMA support. So here, you're able to ride it down for about a 63% move before you exit your full position. And momentum swings work great when those conditions are clear, but not every market is going to be trending. There's going to be heavy volatility, and when the trend breaks, most traders lose money waiting for it to come back. Mode 3 is where I get paid on the other side. And I have a couple different strategies when it comes to shorting. There's the orb break when it comes to ER gap ups. There's a 786 fib retracement. And there's also shorting based off the 15-minute orb if it breaks down that way. But probably the easiest and the most relatable to momentum swing trading is just like when you're swing trading, you're looking for pullbacks into EMA support on trending stocks that are going up. In shorting, you're looking for stocks that already have broken EMA support and are showing weakness. Simply from there, all we want to see are low volume bounces into these EMAs. As you can see here, we start getting rejection wicks and high and selling off, right? So what this tells me is that this is prime for a short. Once we get a pop into EMA cluster like we did here on January 16th, from there, if we see weakness, we're able to short at that point. So we start getting a downtrend, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and a lower low. And that's all we're looking for with that market structure. And sure, we could scalp it intraday or during the weekly to catch those moves. But the same way as momentum swing trading, you're just riding the momentum down on the short. So in this example, if we shorted here on January 16th and just rode it all the way down, say to here, that's minus 28% in about 13 trading days in 3 weeks. And mode 3 is what most traders are missing from their toolbox, right? They're just, shorting scares people. I get it. But at the end of the day, a true trader is one that knows how to capitalize and profit whatever the market puts in front of them. Before I know which mode to be in that day and what to look for, I like to run through 4 quick reads each and every morning. The EMA stack. If price is above the daily EMAs, we're in a bullish environment. Mode 1 or mode 2 applies, right? We're looking for longs and we're looking for swings. If structure has been broken to the downside on EMAs, I'm looking to short any pops. Market structure. Are there higher highs and higher lows? That means we're trending up and we're looking for longs. Lower lows and lower highs means that it's trending down. That's basic market structure that every trader should know. And then volume. Volume price analysis. Volume speaks everything. It tells you the truth. It lets you know if there's real fund participation within that stock. Low volume on a pullback is healthy. That's just regular digestion. High volume on a breakdown, now that's a warning. And then the last one, which I actually just started incorporating in my trading about 6 to 9 months ago, is looking at that Monday candle, because that's really going to set the bias for the rest of the week. The high and the low of the Monday candle. If price is above that Monday candle for the week, we're in a bullish bias. If price is below the low of Monday, I'm looking for shorts. Those 4 reads combined tell me the game that I'm playing that day. And once I know the game, I know which mode and I know what to hunt for. The hardest moment in trading isn't really being in the right mode. It's being able to catch the exact moment when there's a reversal. When a market that's been trending suddenly reverses, most traders are the last to know. They're holding longs into breakdowns. They're looking to short the market when it's already snapping back. They miss the transition because they don't have a tool to identify it for them. To spot those reversals, what we're looking for is the Undercut and Rally, the UNR, and the 30-minute pivot. The 30-minute pivot is probably my favorite way to find a high asymmetrical trade with very low risk. Let's walk through those 2. All right, so the first one, the Undercut and Rally, or UNR. We actually built out an indicator that alerts you on this, but I'll show you without the indicator for now. So what we're looking for with the UNR is just an undercut of a previous level. So here a key level for us would be the 8 EMA. So what we're looking for here is on the prior day, we can see it lost the 8 EMA. So what that does is actually is going to flush out a lot of the buyers to say, oh, it lost support. Why am I going to enter this? And then what we look for the next day is actually once it reclaims this. So it undercut this key level, which was the 8 EMA. And then we got a reclaim here. It did chop around a bit, but we did get a reclaim. And once we get a reclaim, our stop could be the low of the day. So this is what I mean by just finding those asymmetrical setups where you look for reversals. Zoom out a bit here, look at the daily. So once we see here that we entered here on June 11th and we got the undercut and rally of the 8 EMA, it still hasn't come back to test our stop loss. In fact, since our entry, the stock has actually moved up about 27% in 5 trading days. So yeah, this is the example of the undercut and rally that we use to spot reversals. The next example, and probably my favorite, is the 30-minute pivot. So what we're looking for, the 30-minute pivot, is similar to the undercut and rally. You're looking for strong names. So you're looking for stocks that are pulling back, that have relative strength, that are just trapping the sellers. So this is an example of a trade I took last week, and what we're looking for here is just a stock to both, if it could reclaim a key level like the 21-day here, that makes it even better. That gives even more confidence if we could reclaim a key level like that. But ideally, you want to pull back into a strong level, whether it be an EMA support, a previous day high, a previous day low, what have you, And what we're looking for is that first 30-minute green candle, which we got here. And once we break above that first 30-minute green candle, that is our entry to go long. And what this does, it gives us a really tight asymmetrical trade. So our stop loss would be it could be the bottom of that 30-minute candle, or it could be low of day. So if you do it at the bottom of that 30-minute candle, that would be our stop loss. And at this point, we just catch that reversal where the buyers step in and we're able to ride it up. I still have about a month left on the contracts on this trade, and they're up over 100% already just on this move intraday, where we got 7.5%, 8% move from the bottom where we caught the 30-minute reversal to close. We're looking for asymmetrical trades that offer great risk reward. Look, I'm not a bear, I'm not a bull. Perma anything gets wrecked. You really need to be able to adapt and be flexible in this market. Some days that means I'm looking to scalp off the opening range and just get in and out of a trade because I don't want to deal with uncertainty or choppiness in the market. Some days I'm looking for relative strength that pulls back on low volume into EMA support so I could go for a swing long. And then the other days, if there's a short opportunity on a weak stock that it seems to pop up on low volume, I'm going to short it. Or if there's volatility in the market and we see a big sell-off, I'm going to make sure I capitalize off that. The common theme across all three of these modes is just a framework of being able to read the market before an entry and understanding what the current conditions are using tools that are available to you. EMAs, volume. A common theme across all these modes is a framework, a way of being able to read the market before entry, understanding which mode fits the current conditions, using key levels, whether it be the opening range break, Monday's high-low, EMAs, last week's price, etc. And that's what part 3 of this series is about, how all these got formalized into a letter grade, where I built out my first indicators, which are TQE intraday, which spot out where the A+ setups for both longs and shorts, and then TQE swing, which helps me identify and scan for stocks that I need to be looking at either on the long side or the short side for a longer term trade. And again, if you want to see all these in action every morning, there's a link for a free 1-week trial in the description. Come see it in action. I'll see you in part 3.